It was, first of all, impossible. My parents would have called a priest and had me committed to some monastery, lettres de cachet style. And the culture was far from prepared, of course. I knew about Christine Jorgensen when I was fairly young, but she seemed to be an isolated case. Mostly what you came across were aggressively vile jokes from Vegas comedians and the occasional titillating tabloid story. Nobody felt threatened by transgender people. On the contrary, they were viewed as hilarious sideshow acts, literally and otherwise, as in Ouija's photographs. I kept searching for images or stories of girls like me, without much luck. I would swoon over pictures from Finocchio's or Club 82 I might find in passing, but their stars mostly seemed to be gay men who changed back into male drag after the show. Over the years, I consumed an impressive amount of material on transgender matters, from clinical studies to personal accounts. Where Are You, circa 1984 issue of Actuel, or was it The Face, that nearly broke my mind, to new journalistic exposés to porn. Not much of the porn, though, it grossed me out. I researched the subject as deeply as I did any of my books, but my notes all had to be kept in my head. I immediately disposed of all materials because I was terrified of being seen. When, with some regret, I threw away a pseudoscientific piece of exploitation called The Transvestites, I made sure to bury it in the center of the trash bag. Until browsers made anonymous searching possible, I wiped the search memory on my computer every day. Why, you may ask, did I feel it necessary to go to such lengths? The short answer is that I'm mildly paranoid about writings on paper or screen because my mother regularly raided my room, reading anything in my handwriting and vetting all printed matter for anything that might even remotely allude to sex. I extended that caution to my friends, most of whom would surely have been sympathetic, because of the notion I long possessed that women would be disgusted and repelled by my transgender identity. Where did I get that one? It may be because until I was in my late teens, I didn't know many women, as an only child of isolated immigrants. And although I had one early romantic interest, I didn't have a female friend until I was 17. It may also very well have come from proto-TERF sentiments I picked up from feminist tracts. Needless to say, I was awful at sex. I did not know how to act like a man in bed. I wanted to see myself as a woman in the act of love, but I also had to repress the desire while simultaneously trying earnestly to please my partner, because I almost never slept with anyone I didn't love, at least at first. Most of the time, the massive contradictions prevented me from any but the most mechanical sexual fulfillment and necessarily impeded my companion's pleasure as well. I was not at all attracted to men, and I spent enough time in gay environs in the 70s to be sure of that. At puberty and afterward, I was uncertain how to construct a masculine identity. I hated sports and dick jokes and beer chugging and the way men talked about women. My idea of hell was an evening with a bunch of guys. Over the years, from force of necessity, I created a male persona that was saturnine, cerebral, a bit remote, a bit owlish, possibly quirky, coming very close to asexual despite my best intentions. During those same years, I thought about my trans identity every single day, sometimes all day long. I had a range of masturbation scenarios: cast as a girl in a school play, then persuaded to go out on the town in costume, hired as an assistant by a wealthy society woman who amuses herself by dressing me up as a girl. New roommate assigned to me in college has been dressing as a girl for years and has a full wardrobe. Yes, they were transvestite fantasies, but that was what seemed available. Just the idea of wearing women's clothes made me dizzy, and I can count the number of times I dressed up, furtively, alone, on the fingers of one hand. I looked lovely, but I felt as though the entire world was looking on in contempt or repulsion or dire judgment. But then I couldn't just wish myself into magically becoming a girl, could I? And when I truly probed my desire to have breasts and a vagina, I was suffused with an existential terror. Another reason for my repression was my sense that if I changed my gender, it would